his slugging percentage in the month of June. His slugging percentage is .875.
Not his OPS.
That would be a great OPS.
Yeah, it would.
That's just the slugging percentage.
In June?
In June. The on base is .460. So if you would like to add .460 and .875,
that's $1,335.
That would be the OPS.
Pretty good, Mark.
That's the OPS in
that's better
in the
than
last 11
Bonds
days.
during his 73 homer year.
Yeah, I'm looking at in 48 June at bats. Okay, 48 at bats for young Luis Matos.
Small sample size, but go ahead.
21 years old, right-handed hitting center fielder for the Sacramento River Cats, who is also a fantastic defender, very good defensive player. 48 at bats. He's got 21 hits. 21 hits, okay? 3 doubles, 6 homers. So 9 of the 21 hits go for extra bases. He's driven in 16, and he has only struck out 4 times.
That's impressive.
In the 48 at-bats.
That's
4
impressive.
Strikeouts. He's stolen a couple of bags. His average in the month of June is .438. And as you said, the OPS is over 1,300. Yeah. Barry Bonds is looking at Matos' June and going, damn, dude. That's pretty good.
Yeah, now do it in the show, and then
I get it.
And then talk to me.
But the question, I'm not here to tell you like the next big thing has arrived. I'm here to ask the question of when do the Giants need to get him on the roster?
Right, and it's to me an easy answer, and the answer is when they can, because he clearly is doing enough in AAA to show you that he's the real deal. He can hit in AAA, and I don't believe that he's using a metal bat against 8-year-olds throwing lob ball. It's the second highest baseball league in our country. So he's doing big things in a big-time league. But, and you know this, Mark, as well as anybody at this station and in the world, quite frankly, you don't call a young player up to the big leagues unless you can play him every day. Unless you can assure him, maybe not 7 of 7 games, maybe not 6 of 7 games, but no fewer than 5 of every 7 games. So if he doesn't have a spot, you don't want to bring a 21-year-old up who is this hot. And you're right, hot's not a fair way to describe it. He's beyond hot.
Dude.
He's incendiary. He's scalding. He's white hot. Whatever you want to call it. You don't bring that player up and say, we feel as if you need to. It's a righty, so you need to sit. We're going to wait for a lefty. You're going to go ahead and sit for 3 days. Maybe we'll pinch hit you. No, you bring a 21-year-old up, you play a 21-year-old.
They have played 10 games in the month of June. He has had a total of 3 games where he did not have a multi-hit game.
Not where he didn't have a hit.
No. He's had a hit in all but one of them.
Right. 3 games he didn't have 2 or more. 1
hitless. 2 games where he only had 1 hit. All the other games.
7 games.
He had 2, 3, or 4.
Oh, my God.
Hits in the game.
Man.
That's the kid. Now, it's interesting. And 888-957-9570. You can throw your Giants weight in on this. We'd love to hear from you. Twitch, YouTube. Keep the comments coming. So, all right. You said you don't bring him up until he can play every day.
Right.
I don't know how many guys with the Giants even play every day, even when they are here. I get it. Haniger's out there playing every day. And that's one of the guys people would like to circle right now because Matos could absolutely, or at least the production that he's giving right now, Haniger is not giving that at the Giants level. And so that's tough because he was just signed to be their left fielder for the next 3 years. I look at it not just like you're right. You don't want to bring him up until there's time for him to play. I also, what I don't know, this is a little bit more abstract, which is just when's he ready? When does the organization feel like he's ready? And to me, that's more complex than just he's producing.
Right.
It's not that. We've had this conversation all year with the Warriors. Everybody who's all ticked off about Kuminga and how come Moody didn't play to the playoffs. And my response is always, how do you know that they would have played this well if you did play them 3 months ago? I have no idea. Maybe Moody is playing that well in the playoffs because he sat. You want to let them bake. You want to let them bake the appropriate amount of time. You know who was amazingly hot in AAA last year? David VR. David VR was incredibly hot in AAA last year.
And he came up and he was great.
He was okay.
He was great right away, and then he tapered off, and then now he's back down in AAA.
Right. And Casey Schmidt with predictably has completely leveled off, and he's going to stay, and he's doing fine, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But, especially in baseball, confidence is a thing, and if he's down there just building confidence, do you, like you said, you want to bring this guy up, let him play 2 to 3 games a week, and if he's not successful, do you dash his confidence? So, look, I don't know. The Giants are in a tough spot, quite frankly. Farhan even said it last week. We don't have a spot for him, but he might make us create a spot for him because he's exactly what they need. When Casey Schmidt came up, it changed everything for the fans. When Patrick Bailey came up, it started to change everything for the fans. Yes, it coincided with them starting to win more baseball games. But, dude, this guy, man, go find YouTube if you haven't. He is so exciting.
My Twitter feed is completely overwhelmed by Luis Matos at-bats.
He is so fluid, and he's 21. He's got that look. He absolutely has that look. And so, aren't you way more apt to buy a ticket if he's there for the next homestand?
More apt, yeah, definitely. But at the same time, I don't want to see this organization make a move like this because they want to gin up the box office, because he's only played 23 games at AAA, and this coming off of 31 games at AA. Last year, he didn't play AA. So he's got 54 games above single A in his whole career, and he's 21 years old, as you mentioned. So this is a pretty meteoric rise. Now, if you call him up, let's just say it's July 1st. You give him 3 more weeks, and then you call him up, and he struggles, and then now you got to sit him down a little bit, and he doesn't play as often, or you play him and the team loses, and now he's feeling the pressure, and you send him back down to Sacramento. What does that do to a young man's confidence, as opposed to go ahead and do this for another 2 months, and then when we get to August and maybe we get toward September, then we need a shot of adrenaline. And if Luis Matos does well in AAA, he may not do this well, because this is crazy what he's doing.
No, nobody does this at any level for a long period of time.
No, he's putting up massive numbers in a very small sample. Yeah. So if he does this for another 40, another 60 games at AAA, he'll be a AAA All-Star. He can have that honor of being in that All-Star game. There's no rush for me, because you're getting productivity in your outfield.
I'll tell you why this is really important, though, when they bring him up and what he does when he gets here. We talked last week about the establishment of a nucleus, right? Look at the Giants infield. You see it, don't you?
Yeah.
You see it. Wade, Estrada, Schmidt, J.D. Davis, Patrick Bailey. You can see it. Now, is an outfield being established? I don't know if Haniger's going to figure it out, okay? But Conforto, don't even know if he's going to be on the team next year. But you start to see what else might get into the mix here, right? Yaz is not going anywhere for a little while. Slater's not necessarily going anywhere for a little while. Can Matos join this? And the reason it's so important, the Giants think they can compete this year. That's fine. Maybe it's even more important that at the end of the year, they look like they've got a roster that's ready to go win at a high level for one reason and one reason only.
It's a big reason.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
He's got to see it. He's got to see it. Oh, my gosh. You see those young crop? You see Kyle Harrison, and you see Matos, and you see Schmidt, and you see Bailey. Oh, my gosh, they're ready to roll here.
And who'd they call up today?
Keaton Winn.
Thank you. Got to throw Keaton Winn in there.
Keaton Winn. Look fantastic down in AAA.
All he does is win.
And now, no matter what, he's in the bigs. And so he has now arrived. And if Shohei looks at that and goes, now that team is going to be cost-controlled winning for the next 3 or 4 years, that's what I'm looking for. That's why it's important, the way the Giants handle this. It's not flimsy. Oh, bring him up. Yeah, why not? Who cares? We're only one game over 500. It's got to look exactly right. I think it's very important that when Matos gets here, he is ready to cook.
And he has to cook. It's not too much pressure on him. If he comes up and he struggles and he goes back down, well, then that's just the way that goes. Maybe you are like Ramos, or maybe you're just another player who might need more time. And how could he not need more time at 21? But to your point, if you do bring him up and he continues to pop and he flashes and it looks like he's a real mainstay in this team for years to come, that would definitely be more attractive to any free agent.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm looking at, since the moment he got there, because, his year, his stats, his OPS is at 963 for the whole year. That includes AA Richmond, much, much more of a pitcher's league in AA, and he was hitting over 300 there. So, you go back to last year, it was a disappointing year for him, but he was dealing with injuries. This guy is healthy. Man, he's on the verge. It's so funny how quickly stuff happens, too. Like, all of a sudden, also at age 21, this guy is basically subbed out Marco Luciano as the name everyone's talking about. By the way, Luciano's homered 3 times in the last day and a half.
In?
Single,
okay.
Single A.
Okay.
Or no, AA, right? Marco's a AA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's in Richmond.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
I just wanted to, have
three homers in the 2 games.
Contextualize that.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday in the Pitchers League. He has struggled a little bit this year, but 3 homers over the weekend.
Good.
For Marco Luciano, including a little Oppo Taco action yesterday.
Look at you combing the farm for content.